It's got to be a tough time to be a Calgary Flames fan. And I say that because the team's kind of fallen out of the playoff spot and may miss the playoffs. I'd rather they didn't because more Canadian teams the merrier. Gary Bettman went for a visit again. Now, before Bettman went there, Bettman said that the arena wasn't on the menu, which told me he wasn't gonna complain about it, and yet he's going to Calgary. So he has said that the Calgary Flames' financial situation continues to deteriorate. This building in its time was a work of art. Its time is long past, said Bettman, speaking to reporters in Calgary as part of his Western Canadian tour. They don't build buildings like this anymore. He just he takes digs. Bettman's funny, you know. He will defend Arizona to the ends of the earth. He'll defend Carolina to the ends of the earth. He'll defend the Florida Panthers to the end of the earth. And I don't have a problem with that. But be consistent. He's buried Calgary every time he's got a chance. Bettman listed a lack of amenities for fans and players, as well as opportunities for ownership to generate revenue, among the many shortcomings of the building, which opened in 1983. It's not that old. He said it simply doesn't compare in any way to Rogers Place, the new home of the Edmonton Oilers, which opened up last season. Well, yeah, but Gary, you don't compare to Brad Pitt either. We don't bring that up. Have you been up the road to Edmonton? Do you see a difference between the two buildings? You know the answer to that question. Bettman has a way of just being so unlikable in how he says things. Seriously, how unlikable is that? He wants him to come in? Man, his house is crap. You seen up the hill, those rich people, what they have? This is crap. You know your place is crap, right? You don't need people to tell you. Calgary fans know that the Saddledome is not Rogers. Here's the thing. You can compare the city's buildings, sure, but the situations are completely different. Bettman added that Calgary concert goers are losing out too. I was told Thursday there were 27 acts, some of them multiple days, that have played in Edmonton since the building opened that haven't played here. That goes to the quality of life of the city, and that's an indication as to the difference of the buildings. Quality of life in a city is measured by concerts. Okay, let's just pause here. Okay, let's just have reality come in for a second, please. Do you measure your city by how many concerts it has? Or how big they are? If Metallica goes on a tour and they skip your city, do you say, this city's in the crapper. James Hetfield won't play here. I'm moving. No. 27. Whatever. Like, it. Now, I'm in Abbotsford. There are times where WWE plays here and doesn't play in Vancouver. It doesn't mean that Abbotsford's better than Vancouver. Although I will say I think the crowds are better, but it's a more intimate atmosphere. You have a smaller building, right? I just. It's a weird thing to say. While Bettman said he wasn't in town to make threats, he painted a bleak picture of the Flames' financial future if it continues to operate out of the NHL's oldest building. The team's competitive situation, financial stability, is obviously being impacted with each season that they stay here. They used to write checks for revenue sharing for the last couple of years. They've been receiving checks. The checks are getting bigger. So what that means is if a team's taking money out of the financial coffers, they're in trouble. Unless they're Arizona or Carolina. And again, I'm not trying to take, a shot at those teams. I'm saying those teams have been taking money for decades. And here's Bettman saying that this makes a difference to the financial viability of a franchise when he has stated for years that teams in the South that might be in financial trouble aren't moving. There's no chance they're moving. And here he is dancing around. It's sort of like, well, honey, I'm not going to leave you, but if all these things don't get better, I'm not going to say I'm going to leave you, but I'm not being left with many options here. So he's not saying that the NHL's leaving Calgary. He's just Be a shame if something happened to this beautiful building you guys have here. Oh, wait, it's not a beautiful building. It'd be great if something happened to this crappy building you have here. But it would be a shame if something happened to the Flames. Would it be a shame if something happened to Calgary? Again, he's almost speaking like a mafia hitman here. Or mob boss, I guess. Calgary Mayor Naheed Nenshi, who, of course, is not on Bettman's Christmas card list, said the proposal for a $500 million arena places a heavy tax burden on the city, and the Flames counter and say city's plan would ultimately see the team foot the entire cost of construction. Again, I've discussed this before. It's so weird to me. If I say I'm going to build a house, people go, all right. If I say I'm going to build a stadium, you're paying for it. People go, huh? The province of Alberta is in the midst of a financial crisis brought upon them by the dropping costs of oil. So with the price of oil coming down, and now there's a fight between Alberta and BC about a pipeline. And I'm staying out of that on here. This is about hockey. But because that pipeline is stuck in red tape and arguments between Alberta's premier and BC's premier, and between the two provinces themselves, because that argument's ongoing, it continues to impact the entire province. So yes, Edmonton put up a brand new building. Awesome, great, fantastic. It's not that simple. Alberta's economy is not in great shape right now. And the idea that, well, if you put up a new building, you'll help the Flames. Okay. But it doesn't necessarily translate. Like you can't point to one success story and say, well, it'll happen here too. Well, where are you going to put the building? That's been the big argument. And it's one that could fix itself if Calgary gets the Olympics. So they're in bidding for an Olympic Games, and if they get them, and they could because nobody wants Olympics anymore, they're just too expensive. They're too expensive. There's too many hoops to jump through, and the IOC is as crooked as a $10 wooden coin. Kind of like you put it in, and then you'd be like, "Why did I get this?" I'm off on a tangent. But regardless of that, if the Olympics go there, clearly they'd have to put up a new arena. They're not going to play out of the Saddledome, right? So that would fix the problem. Kind of, sort of. Except they're also, if you're going to make claims about the Alberta economy, which is part of what the mayor's statement's been, you can't then make a claim for the Olympics, something that generally is not a cash cow for your city. It normally is a drain on your city. Currently, neither side is talking, with the team having said publicly that they've abandoned pursuit of a new building and they will remain in the Saddledome, doing the best they can for as long as they can. Again, I'm not saying I'm going to leave. I'll do the best I can for as long as I can. That's all I can do. Everything I've heard, Calgary's ownership group sees no reason to have discussions, Bettman said. They tried. They thought they were on a path. They actually had a proposal or something akin to Edmonton that would take a part of the city and transform it. A part of the city right now where the land is blighted and unusable, and ultimately nothing got any traction. If you live in Calgary, let me know. Blighted and unusable. Accurate? Bettman was involved throughout the process in Edmonton, working with then Mayor Stephen Mandel and owner Daryl Cates in helping get the deal done. He has no such involvement in Calgary. You can't dance unless you're invited to the dance. I haven't been invited to this dance. So now he's the nerd that's standing. That's pretty much it. I can consult with the club. I can work with the club. We can discuss the situation. We can explore options if and when, but there's nothing really for me to do here. And yet there he is. Poke, 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 poke. In other hockey matters, Bettman spoke about the successful season ticket drive that started in Seattle on Thursday. Holy crap. Deposits for the minimum of 10,000 tickets were received in 12 minutes. By the end of the first hour, they'd received 25,000 deposits. They've begun what looks like an amazing expression of interest. Obviously, that's one of the many factors we have to evaluate as we go through the expansion process. I don't know. This building may not last. Hey, look at what they're doing in Seattle. That's exciting. All right. So if you're a fan in Calgary, and I've been doing this for a while now, it's almost a video series. Are you getting worried yet that the Flames could be on their way out of town? Because they're still threatening it. and they're not threatening it anywhere else in the NHL. And there's a city in Houston with an owner who wants a team. Bettman's met with Houston. There's no plans for a 33 team expansion that I know of. Kansas City's got a building, no owner. Flames owner could say, well, we're going to move to Kansas City. What do you guys think? Because there are cities that want the NHL, and it doesn't sound to me like Bettman's fighting very hard to keep the Flames where they are. He's like, well, I can't get involved. Really, since when, Gary? You get involved in everything all the time. When referee Kerry Fraser is writing an article about the NHL and the way that they're mishandling players with concussions, he is sending out emails to Bill Daly saying, can we cut this guy off? Is there any kind of pension he collects from us? We need to be able to cut it off. If he can get involved in that, he can get involved in this. If he's not involved directly, it's because he doesn't feel like it, because he doesn't like the mayor. Maybe the mayor doesn't like him. And I don't know if I was the mayor of a city, if I'd like Gary Bettman coming into my office and telling me, you're going to pay this amount of money and you're going to put a building here. I'd be like, get out of my office. How'd you get in here? Thought I had a secretary. The hell's going on? When did I become mayor? Who elected me? Somebody dropped the ball somewhere. But let me know what you guys think. And again, I can't see them moving the team. Come on, this is ridiculous. But this back and forth that Bettman has going on, mostly with himself, is weird. And it is a red flag for me, because he never threatens to move a team until they move. And in this case, he just keeps saying, well, it'd be a shame if. Let me know what you guys think. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.